Hello and welcome back from spring break, everyone, to Utica TV Overtime, where each week we will be keeping you up to date with everything that's going on with your Utica Pioneers. I'm your host, Andres Jaime Mendez.
And I'm Jeff Kopak. Let's jump right into the action from this past week. On Wednesday, March 8th, the Utica University women's lacrosse team suffered its first loss of the season in a close game against the Oswego State Lakers. Oswego started off the first quarter in the lead until Utica University's Alyssa Drell and Samantha DeCondo each scored, tying things up until the Lakers ended up taking a 3-2 lead in the first quarter.
Another goal from Alyssa Drell tied things back up in the first half, where the Lakers took control once again, giving them a 4-3 lead before ultimately taking a 5-3 lead into halftime after a free position goal. Not long into the final quarter, Oswego jumped back ahead by 2 on another free position goal. With the game winding down, DeCondo put Utica back within striking distance with just over 2 minutes to play with their second goal of the evening. But the Lakers clinged on to their 6-5 lead as the game came to an end.
The Pioneers took on the Castleton Spartans in a game on home turf Saturday afternoon. Join us as we dive right into the highlights. The first quarter put the Pioneers ahead, gaining them 6 goals, with Sam Serrano scoring the 6th in the final 2 minutes during a man-down situation, assisted by Ethan Brown. The second quarter gave Utica one more goal, making the score 7-0, scored again by Serrano. But the Spartans came crawling back with 3 points to close out the first half of the game, 3-7.
The third quarter led in favor of Utica, John Spotto scoring an unassisted goal, making the score 8-3. This was the first of many goals for Spotto as he was on a roll to finish out the Pioneers' win, scoring an impressive 2 more goals for the Pioneers, ending the game 10-5 in favor of Utica. Goalie Patrick Oswald finished this game with an 18-save performance, making this his first win of the season. Overall, the men's lacrosse team is standing 2 wins, 3 losses. The men's lacrosse team put on an offensive onslaught last Monday as they beat SUNY Canton 14-8. Utica was led by John Spotto as he had 5 points. Utica also had 3 points each from Connor Costanzo and Sam Serrano. Utica would have 6 other goal scorers as Luke Ronaldo Conchesi and Mikey Mecca had 2 goals each, and Jonathan Chalinsky, Caden Frey, John Paul Cooper, and Nolan Shea would each add 1 goal.
Goalie Patrick Oswald would earn the win as he only faced 5 goals while having 5 saves. Utica's offense would have season highs of 21 points, 54 shots, 28 shots on goal, 58 ground balls, and 14 goals. The game was even at the beginning as the score was 3-3 with 3 minutes left in the first period. This is when Utica had the scoring run that won them the game. They would score 6 unanswered goals, taking a 9-3 lead. Utica would exchange goals with SUNY Canton, but would hold on to win 14-8.
The Utica University men's lacrosse team took on SUNY Brockport this past Wednesday on March 15th in a spring break showdown. The Pioneers came to this one looking for their second win at home in just days after defeating SUNY Canton on Monday by a score of 14-8. The first quarter featured much of a back-and-forth battle between the two teams, but with just over 3 minutes left in the first, SUNY Brockport would find twine. Ethan Barrett would score his first of the game just before Jack Peterson would add another to wrap up the quarter.
The Golden Eagles of SUNY Brockport continued their dominance through the second quarter, scoring 5 unanswered goals to take the lead over the Pioneers 7-0 entering the second half. Goalkeeper Cameron Kuzniar stayed perfect through the first half with 9 saves. After another SUNY Brockport goal to grow their lead 8-0, the Pioneers would find the back of the cage for the first time this afternoon. John Spotto would net his team-leading 10th goal of the season. Each team would go on to add 2 more scores of their own, rounding out the quarter at a score of 10-3 in favor of SUNY Brockport. NCAA playoffs were afoot in the Aud with a revenge game between the Pioneers hockey team and the University of New England. After UNE knocked out the Pioneers in a playoff game just a year ago, Utica was looking to fare better this year and advance to the Frozen Four for a first time in over a decade. After a scoreless first period, Utica got on the board after a 5-on-3 goal by Buster Larson early in the second. However, things quickly turned south for the Pioneers as a short-handed goal by UNE tied it up just 18 seconds after Utica's score.
UNE scored 2 more goals in the second and tacked on 1 more for good measure early in the third to bring it to 4-1. Justin Allen scored about 6 minutes into the third to give the team some late life. As they took that life and skated with it as Brandon Osmondson brought the game within one with 2:30 left. And just 45 seconds later, Buster Larson scored his second goal of the game to tie it up and send it to overtime. After a desperation struggle in overtime, the Pioneers ultimately fell 5-4 after Anthony Scuccio scored the game winner for UNE as his team falls short of the Frozen Four once again.
The men's lacrosse team will look to bounce back after the loss that they had against Oswego, or that this past weekend, as they take on Oswego State this Wednesday, March 22nd. The game is scheduled to start at 4 p.m. at Charles A. Gaetano Stadium.
The men's lacrosse team will stay at home as they host Wilkes University to wrap up their 5-game homestand. The game will start at 1 p.m. on Saturday, March 25th at Charles A. Gaetano Stadium.
On Saturday, March 25th, the women's softball team will host their first home game of the season at Greenman Softball Field right across from campus. They will be playing a doubleheader against Cazenovia College. Games are scheduled to start at 1 and 3 in the afternoon. We are supposed to have warmer weather this weekend, so definitely you do not want to miss these games.
Remember to stick around after the first game against Cazenovia, as the softball team will play the second half of their doubleheader shortly after. First pitch will be at 3 p.m. at Greenman Field.
And that's all the Utica sports that we have for you this week. Be sure to keep an eye out for our Moose Minute series that takes an inside look at your Pioneer athletes.
And be sure to follow us on social media to see when Utica TV will be broadcasting your Utica athletics. Thanks for watching, and always remember to
Fear the Moose.